Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining in today uh, for the second edition of CleapCon 2022. Cleap Security started in 2021, where we wanted to raise awareness among people about cybersecurity. And since then, we have been hosting a lot of conferences, events, webinars, podcasts with industry experts, researchers, people from academic areas to spread the word around. And in this conference, we have a great personality between us who would be sharing his knowledge with you all. Over to you, Pooja.
Thank you, Shivani. So now joining us, we can call him as multi-talented or versatile because he is security engineer at FPL Technologies and he is a pen tester, public speaker, part-time bug hunter, web developer, a read teamer, CTF player, and a cybersecurity enthusiast. And he loves to explore the infosec domain, including offensive and defensive. He has taken multiple cybersecurity workshops and has spoken at local community chapters and conferences like WhatsApp chapters and Warsaw IT Days. So let's welcome Shashwat Kumar.
Hey, thanks, Pooja. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
And thanks for the welcome and the introduction. I think I will have to skip the introduction slide now. Anyways,
Yeah.
starting with the topic. Just let me know if my screen is visible or
Sure. Yeah, we can see.
okay. Coming to the topic, shared license or crack. Actually, this is a very interesting topic and can be categorized as a infosec fucked up story because it was like I did in last year. It was kind of a research that I did last year. Actually, I fell in some traps, so I will be sharing about what was those about and everything. So coming to the agenda, first is the introduction. Second is the license story, the deep dive into the story. What are those license and cracks are about, and the source guardian and the exploitation and discover of the cracks, and then the jackpot, and at the end the conclusion part. So I think I will have to skip this now because the Pooja has covered this up. So I will directly begin with the story. So last year I was looking for some Linux hosting for my website, and I was looking for like Litespeed and CPanel licenses for my server. So I will just show what things pop up if you search for those stuffs. So if I do a quick search for CPanel or Litespeed license, okay. If I go to the pricing section, I will find like the license starts from $26 monthly and goes up to like $92 and $95. So I was looking for some cheaper way so that I can minimize the cost for the licenses. And I found something known as shared license. And if you search for shared license, let's say cPanel, there will be tons of websites like shared license, Jarvis host, Max Cloud host. Uh, if I open one of these, you will be surprised to see the pricing. So it is starting from like 150 rupees, which is around like $2 per month. So the original license cost around like 26 for the basic plan, and here it starts from like $2. So there is a huge price difference between both of them. So how are these websites are selling these licenses for so cheap? But even though I search for the like local providers, so I focus for Indian providers and I search uh, for the Indian providers, and you will find websites like cheaplicense.in, milesweb, shared license. I'm looking for some specific website. Okay, so these were the websites from which I purchased the license. I paid around like 480, and same for the cPanel. So I spent like $15 to $20, which for which the original pricing were like $200. So how were these websites were providing for so cheap? So that thing came up to my mind. Moving back to the slide. So as told, I purchased the license from here. So after purchasing, they provided me some sort of scripts like these. So if you're into Linux, you will understand that these scripts are fetching some installer scripts and running on your server. So usually licenses come with some sort of key or just something like uh, what you can say is a license type of thing, and they don't provide us any scripts to run. So, but here we are paying dollars for running some commands. So I thought, why not look into these commands and find what are the binaries is all about. So let's see. Already had that installed. So it is a binary 64-bit. So whenever we see binary, the first thing that comes in our mind is the GDB only to see what it's really happening in the background. So let's pop up our GDB. Also, I'm testing this on my test server, so I'm not worried about any malicious things that uh, come up in this. So let's set a breakpoint at main. Get this assembly flavor to everything. So we can see a system call here. So let's set a breakpoint right here. So right, we see some more commands. Again, a setup file is being downloaded in the server and getting executed. And I downloaded the license, or you can say the crack, from the Indian website. Now something is coming up from an IR, which is the Iranian website, right? So let's debug this. So it's a PHP file. Moving back to the slide. This is covered up. So as I told, the websites are live here. So we can see it is getting executed and the files are being downloaded. So let's debug the PHP file. So if we see the PHP file, we can see it's some sort of encryption or obfuscation is done here. So I did some research and found that I will won't say research. I just like search on the Google and everything and found that it is the file is protected by Source Guardian. And according to the Source Guardian website, they convert the PHP into the bytecodes and provides encryption on the top of it. So we can't directly read the files from there. But upon searching, I found an interesting method, the crystalline methods. Uh, so it's an amazing write-up. So what he has done is he has able to get the opcodes from the encrypted source guardian file, so we can get the opcodes and read what is being done in the background. So it is this article. So I followed the same method. So using this method, I was able to get the opcodes, and in those opcodes, I saw more files are being downloaded. As we can see, the RC license LSWS. So let's get on to that. Again, a PHP file. Actually, I've already decoded that, so I will just move to the slide. I think this is covered. The SC license LSWS. So let's get on to that. Yeah, we have that file downloaded. So, so it's an OpenSSL encrypted. But again, in the script, I already found the password in the script. The first interesting thing is like note this password. I think I missed one password here. Yeah, this one. So basically, what the file is doing, it's installing the Litespeed server with the same password. As you can see here, it is installing with the same credential, admin and that the password. So every time the script is being run, it is installing the Lightspeed server with the same password. So anyone who is falling in their trap are getting installed with the same credentials. The first thing is that, and the second thing was in the script I found that okay, yeah. In the second script, I found that for decrypting the SSL file, encrypted SSL file, it was using a same password, and this time the password was quite interesting one. I have hide the password because all the websites are live, so anyone can use those credentials to get into the access to that website. So I've just hide that password just for now. So we can get an idea like it's installing some sort of crack in our server. So coming to the crack, so it was installing proxy chains and was providing us with a temporary license. So every time you see with the shared license, you will always see a temporary license, or you can say a trial license was installed for that, and all be using the same credentials, right? So I have my target log, which is the reseller center.ir. So I quickly ran up the Wayback URLs and found some interesting pages in that. And coming to the SQL injection part, so upon checking upon the Wayback URLs, I found that one of the URLs of that website, that Iranian website, was vulnerable to SQL injection, through which I got access to their database, and where I saw like there were like 10,000s of IPs which were running those cracks, and 7 to 8,000 were live. also the default password that I have told. They all were using the default password through which I got. I tested upon some of the hits that I got from the database. So I just tested those credentials on those URLs and found that the Litespeed web server was running, and I got the access to that. But we didn't stop here, right? We were waiting for the jackpot. So remember the second password that I have told in this slide, this one. Their WHMS password and was same as this, and they forgot to like update at that time, through which I got their access to their cPanel, and from where I could see all their crack files. I've downloaded all their crack files and everything, as you can see here. So there were like 8,000 of server which were running on these cracks, and I could pass any updates, or I could just place a reverse shell on the top of any scripts. And actually I just did for I did just to check if I get some reverse shell connection to my server. So I waited for like, I placed a reverse shell and waited for like 2 to 3 hours and got an connection back from EC2 instance. This is a screenshot of that. So I also ran the Metasploit and waited for connections to come, and they were like 2 to 300 in 2 to 3 days. So through this method, I got access to more than thousands of servers which were using these shared license. So before going to the questions, I will say never to trust these websites, never to go for the cheaper providers, always go for the authentic ones, and not to use any cracks or share something like that for future. So is there any questions in the comment field? Pooja, please let me know.
Yeah, Shashwat, we'll check and we'll let you know.
Hi, Shashwat. We have a question, like how to identify these fake websites.
See, whenever you are going to purchase a license, or whenever you are trying to deploy something on your cloud, always go for the authentic websites. If you are purchasing for a cPanel license, then please purchase from there. Also, cPanel provides a list for their trusted sellers. So always go for those stuffs, and same goes for Litespeed. And whenever you purchase or deploy, please verify the same. For example, for cPanel, it's also provided website known as, I think, verify.cpanel.net. So verified the license for the same, so that you won't fall into these traps.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Shashwat, for the insightful session, because nowadays with all of us working from home and wanting to have a presence online will encounter such kind of problems in future. And it is still existent where people get and fall prey in terms of phishing or these malicious sites, downloading applications which can harm your system. So
Exactly. Before disconnecting, I will just say, like, this is very common in India and Middle East thing. So, and I don't think there cyber laws exist in the Iran or Middle East. So they always try to pirate softwares and sell to places like India, Nepal, and everywhere. So always be aware of that, and please don't fall into these traps.
Absolutely rightly said. Thank you. Thank you, Shashwat, for your valuable time and coming and speaking and sharing your knowledge with CleapCon. And anyone who is watching now or will watch after the stream has ended, if you have any questions or you want to get connected, please follow and connect with Shashwat on LinkedIn. And thank you so much.